Today we're going to be discussing the top 5 things you should never do as a landlord in a landlord-tenant relationship. It is so important to have a good relationship with your tenants as a landlord, because as we all know, this is a people's business. Ultimately, you're going to have a much better day when you're having good relationships with your tenant. No headaches, hostility, energy that you have to take, resources that you have to spend, and lots of liabilities, especially on the legal side. During my previous interview with attorney Bruce Menke, we discussed the top 5 things not to do when you're a landlord in a landlord-tenant relationship. So let's get right into it.
Generally speaking, I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I see landlords, property managers, or their attorneys make is a level of arrogance or condescension. The number of times I've been in the courthouse hallway and I've seen tenants being mistreated, frankly, just as human beings, and being looked down upon.
Yeah.
Look, nobody wants to be involved in a difficult conversation. Without a tenant, you're out of business as a landlord.
Exactly.
It's a mutually beneficial relationship. Hopefully you can make it work for as long as you can. I can tell you that those are my clients that have a better relationship with their tenants, have had a much easier time of dealing with the recent challenges. It's those tenants that inspire an emotional response, as opposed to being more compassionate or understanding. Doesn't mean you give away your business, but to work with somebody, because otherwise the next person that if you could get them into the next tenant in, they may or may not be any better than what you already have. Exactly. But at the same time, there are plenty of tenants who have earned some landlord's disrespect, but you still can be professional.
Yeah.
It is interesting for me over the years, I've seen, even though real estate rental property is a huge financial investment, and if you were to make the same investment in a retail business, I suspect a lot of those business owners would treat their customers differently. It doesn't really make sense that the attitude that comes with it. So remember, you're all in it together, hold your ground, and don't encourage a negative response, because right now, one of the biggest problems landlords have is public perception.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be the guy that's on 6 o'clock news that's the latest person to abuse a tenant.
Yes.
You want to be the guy that's bringing the good news to the table and hopefully shining a light on landlords in a more favorable way.
Yeah, it's a people's business, you know? It's a people's business, absolutely.
There's also a growing need, frankly, for proper documentation, so you want to make sure that the mistake you're not making is don't use old forms.
Don't use old forms.
Don't use old agreements. Make sure the documents you're using are current. Making sure they're keeping up by way of content. One of the critical things that we've encouraged our clients for years, make sure that you have a cap on your attorney fee provision, because that can be useful in decreasing your exposure to liability. So you don't want to be caught without good forms. You also want to make sure that you don't stop learning. I've been in this business for a long time. We have dealt with more change in the landlord-tenant landscape in the last 6 to 9 months than I have in 30 years.
Wow.
I mean, so the mistake you don't want to make is to stop learning. And the extension of that, I think, is to also make sure that you're dealing with professionals. I mean, if you're not prepared to professionally manage your property, don't. Hire a well-qualified property manager that work with a good attorney. Unfortunately, it's getting more and more complicated. Even the simplest of questions that we used to get on a routine basis, like, can I serve a notice? We used to say, oh, well, the state law is this.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, where's the property located? Because the local ordinance may require something different. You can't hide your head in the sand. You got to stay current. If you're not prepared to be professional and stay current, and it's hard enough if you're in it every day, it's no longer a casual business.
Right.
Because there is, additionally, the other trend that is occurring is that there is a growing exposure of landlords, not just to civil liability in the context of breaching your obligations to tenants, but also in the area of criminal liability. I mean, some of the legislation has even sought to empower local district attorneys, even the state attorney general's office, to prosecute at a criminal level any varieties of behaviors.
Wow.
So you really need to be careful that you're staying current and you know what's going on.
Stay current, hire a professional.
I don't know if that was 5 items.
Don't be the bad guy. Well, I think the first one, number 1, don't be the bad guy, and at the end, it should be don't be the bad guy again. right? It's because it's all circles back to that.
And frankly, an extension of the opportunity to stay educated.
Yes.
If you're not affiliated with a local professional organization of property owners, I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
Also, make sure that your property managers, frankly, find out what level of education they're maintaining,
Exactly.
what associations they have. And I'll make my shameless plug, if I may, for the Apartment Association of California Southern
Absolutely,
Cities.
yeah.
A longtime board member, longtime supporter.
I am as well.
Excellent.
Yes, I am as well. Well, you know what, Bruce, that was incredible information. I completely agree with you that, our landlords need to stay in touch with what's happening, being educated every single day. Knowledge is power. And so we're going to be sharing all of your information as well, so that anyone who owns a rental property here in our city of Long Beach, as well as the surrounding cities, they contact you as the well-respected attorney. I know that you are going to be able to guide them correctly, and thank you so much for sharing so much with us today.
It's my pleasure, and our practice does focus in centers around real estate. We always encourage our clients, if they think they have a legal need, to give us a call. We can assist them directly with their real estate transactions, litigation, their estate planning, their trust administration, or other issues. We'll be happy to do that. It may be that we can also assist them with a referral if we're not the best fit for them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And that's it. Top 5 things that you can and cannot do as a landlord in a landlord-tenant relationship. My biggest takes: don't be a bad guy, and definitely stay involved, stay informed as a landlord. If you have any questions, we are here for you. We'd love to be your resource for everything real estate related. Give us a call.